the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody, and good Tuesday morning to you, and welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast. And we are so glad that you have joined us wherever and whenever it is that you join us each and every day here on the Auburn Blitz and making Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. As normal, it's Brett and Faith here with you on a Tuesday. Good morning, Faith. What's up?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Everything going well your way?
Everything's great over here. Shout out Reese. Happy birthday. It's his
There
birthday.
you go.
So
Of course. Absolutely.
With him today. So I'm excited about that.
You should be. That's great. So happy birthday to Reese out there. Everybody give a shout out there. Again, we appreciate all of you so very much. A lot to dive into here on a Tuesday morning. New hires, roster retention, basketball, you name it. We got it here on Auburn Blitz. Just trying to go through some of these. I'm telling you, man, like it is text message city right out of the gate in the mornings. And it's people that are watching the show. And they're like, hey, man, can you answer this? I'm like, yeah, let me just pause everything I'm doing. Let me answer these questions for you right now. It's all right. It's all good. We're all smiles here. All right, let's talk about Alex Golesh yesterday. I was at the press conference. I had a question or two. I didn't get a chance to ask because the press conference lasted 50 minutes. And, you know, one thing that we were all kind of laughing about, went around the room. There was a substantial amount of questions. I don't want to underplay that. But when you ask Alex Golesh a question, you better settle in for a minute. And, we were kidding. Me and Jason Caldwell were kidding. He's like, he answered like 10 things in the first question. And it's like, okay, well, there went a lot of hands down. And then but it's great that you've got a guy that wants to, and it's not a word salad either. It wasn't like he was up there just talking in circles and repeating the same thing in just different ways. It was him saying, hey, this is my plan. This is what he answered the questions very thoroughly, Faith. And
with substance. Yes.
There was something behind his answer. So, and I think he's a more tell it like it is kind of guy. You're going to know where you stand with him. Like him walking in there going, man, I was told about these lights in here and they are bright. He's like, man, he couldn't see. And it was like, he's just very matter of fact. I go back to what we talked about for so many months about a culture change and an attitude change and a difference in approach from a head guy. And look, he hadn't done anything yet. He hadn't been here long enough. He's still trying to retain the roster, what we're going to talk about here in just a minute. But just the approach in how he's doing it is different. It's what we were looking for off the cuff, on the surface, whatever you want to say.
So when you were there, what was kind of the overall consensus that you had about him and the press conference?
I think he's a guy that's patient, that will sit there as long as you want to sit there. One particular person asked a question and he went on for several minutes and he said, okay, what was the next part? And the guy said, I'm good. He's like, it's like he's not trying to blow you off. He really is trying to go in depth about what you ask and try to give you like you said, a substantive answer to that. So my impression was really good. He handled himself well. We all got a chance to go up and like formally meet him after the press conference, which I thought, again, that's like drinking out of a fire hose when 20-something people walk up and shake your hand and introduce themselves. You're like, okay, I'll get to know you over time, but just to have an opportunity to go up and finally formally meet him. So, all right. So diving in though, Faith, to some of the things that he said, and obviously and we said this in our video after the initial press conference announcing him. Everything can't be top priority. Something's got to be priority one. And what is priority one? You and I speculated it really wasn't this recruiting class. And now he said on Friday, he kind of took a step back and goes, man, I'm pretty impressed with how we pulled that off. Like, Auburn's getting a lot of negative pub about how low it's been, 41 or whatever. And, we talked about that yesterday. But, I mean, in the scheme of things, when you land on your feet on a Monday, signing days on a Wednesday, you're trying to flip some guys that you had at South Florida that you feel like would be a fit in the SEC at Auburn. And then on the other side, you're trying to retain some. He said, look, we were able to keep some guys we wanted, and we lost some guys that we wanted. Obviously, Jace Matthews and Braylon Womack were the top two that left. But he felt like overall, in the short amount of time, in 48 hours, they did all they could do. Now the priority, and should have been since day one, is retaining this roster.
And that's what he said. He said that the priority would be retention of the guys that you feel like fit and you feel like the guys that can help, and ultimately guys that want to be here. That's something that I've noticed in a lot of the answers that he's given about the guys that either he's looking out to get or trying to keep on the team. He's wanting guys that want to play for Auburn and want to be there and want to work through the process. Right. And that's something you don't find a lot of guys in today's world with the transfer portal and with NIL. And I really like that about him, because maybe you won't be going and getting some of these big names that you hear about, but you're getting these guys that want to work hard and want to make a difference.
Ed said Golish was asked about NIL and could we spend what is needed to get back competitive. Golish filibustered a few minutes and then said, if Auburn football is expecting to win signing days, you are barking up the wrong tree. Brett, what does that mean? All right, this is what I interpreted when he said that. Somebody asked him about this particular recruiting class, and he said, I'll tell you more in 2 years. And I think that's a great approach. I don't think he was blowing anybody off. I think realistically we all do get caught up in, did we finish in the top 10 in recruit? And you want to. I mean, he clearly said, yeah, do you want a top class? Of course you do.
Right.
But what we do, and how many times has Auburn finished with all these guys and none of them turn out to be anything? And none of them come to fruition. I mean, we did a show several months ago where we went back and looked at all the classes over the last 10 to 15 years and all the highly ranked classes Auburn's had. How many actually made it to the end? Actually, off of those 25, 30 man classes, I mean, it was embarrassing that it was 4 or 5 guys in some of those years. And then 22 people left or didn't pan out. So what Golish is saying is, let's quit worrying about winning signing day and let's go win some football games. Let's go get the guys that we want and go out and try to get whoever it is that we feel like's the fit here. And let's do a better job of developing the guys. Look, Auburn's got a plethora of talent sitting here on this roster now that hadn't accomplished a daggum thing. And, you got one of the hottest targets in the country. Everybody's coming after him, Cam Coleman, because they know he has not achieved what he should have achieved to this point. So that's why he's such a target. And some of these other guys on Auburn's roster are such a target because they've been part of a losing program, So it's one of those deals where you kind of look at it and go, he's right. Let's quit worried about winning signing day and trying to get. And you want to win. Look, if you're going out getting quality players, that's great. And that's what has Auburn done with the quality players they've had? That's kind of, to me, what he was saying. What has Auburn done with these top-ranked players and recruits that they've had to this point? Not much. Our job's to come in and get the most out of them as we possibly can. And I think that's what Auburn fans want to see too. I think Auburn fans want to finally see, hey, you get this guy, and he actually achieves and develops into the player that we all know he can put that we all know he can be.
You get production, and that's just literally, we have not seen any of that on the offensive side in 5 years, and that's what you want, and that's what you thought you were going to be getting with Hugh Freeze, this offensive minded guy who can scheme up these really good plays, all this kind of stuff. And you saw a whole bunch of nothing. Again, the word throughout the season was a vanilla offense. That's how we described it. And so with Alex Golesh, he knows Auburn fans want to see production. He knows that they want to see results out there on the field. And so if that means that they have to get, again, like I said, some of these lesser named guys to bring in this year or something like that, to, as long as they want to go and be at Auburn and work hard to be the best that they can be and impress, everybody, that is going to show Auburn fans that he's committed in his first year, that he knows that Auburn people want results.
Right. And he made it very clear. He didn't ask for patience. He didn't ask for, hey, it's going to take us a couple of years. And, I think he alluded to, and I didn't post that video yet. I'll post it probably today. He said something along the lines of, you come in as a coach to a new program in one of two ways. You come in inheriting a great program where there was a ton of success because somebody moved on or retired or whatever, and you're inheriting a great program, or you come in and you're inheriting basically a mess. He didn't say it like that. And he said for him in his career to this point, that's what he's had to do. He's had to come in and inherit things that had to be rebuilt and had to change the way and the approach of the current program.
Granted, people are going to say, Hugh Freeze built this program from
he built a roster.
Right. He built the roster, and that's where people don't need to get confused, is he built the roster, but the program and the culture in there was far broken while he was there.
Well, you got no results on the field. As the years went along, you got worse with better talent. And, that's kind of why everybody was tired of buying that we're close crap. The chart was going in totally different directions. The roster was going up, and the dadgum culture and the results were getting worse. Somehow.
I did see that he said that they're close in his presser at one point. And I just wanted to picture everybody's faces when he said that. Obviously, he wasn't saying it.
He wasn't saying it in the same context. Yep.
But it's a bad word now at Auburn.
It is. It's like, hey, don't cuss in the press conference by saying that word. But I think, he said a lot of grounded things. And again, this is a press conference in December, right after signing day, getting ready to go into the portal. And, you got to defend your own turf first. And everybody's got to do that. So you got to, and I think something that needs to be analyzed a little bit deeper too is you want to keep the guys that you feel like fit. You want to keep everybody, but if you don't want to be here, again, I think Auburn has done that in the past with a bunch of guys. They've tried to hold on to guys that really, I'm not sure that's where they wanted to be, but they were coerced and talked into staying. Like you want a bunch of guys that want to be here and want to play. And I thought, and I tweeted this out, and he said he's met with most every player to this point, had in-depth conversations, sat down, and he said to the person, they all said they love Auburn. And he goes, well, tell me more about that. What is it that you love? He said they all went into different things, but he said to the man, everybody said they love Auburn and what an awesome place this is. And he talked about Cody Burns telling him about how special Auburn was. He's like, well, Auburn should be special to you. It's your alma mater. You won a national championship. He said, no, you don't get it. He said, You'll see when you get there. It's different in the way things are. And when you're like, so he was telling some of the players, he said, okay, you love Auburn and you love the way the students treat you when you walk across campus and how you're admired. He said, imagine what the hell it's going to be like when you win down here. And it's like, he said, and some of them said, can you do that for us? It's like, man, it is so far beyond my comprehension of the things that I've grown up watching Auburn to where it is now. It's like Auburn used to be a team that took no backseat to anybody. And, you may not win a championship every year. You may not compete for a national championship. But the mindset and the mantra at Auburn was, man, we're in the top programs in the SEC. And every single time we play you, you're going to get hit in the mouth and you're going to have to play a damn good football game to beat us. And now we got players going, hey, can you help us get there? I mean, it's a cry for help that, again, it's a culture that has preceded this administration that has got to get out of that building. If you want to start winning football games, that's got to exit stage left. And you got to change the mentality back to, hey, this is Auburn. Okay, yeah, we've been in a little bit of a slump the last 5 years, but we're about to change that. And you're going to be the reason we change it. That's the message right there. You're going to be the reason Auburn gets back to prominence in this conference. I think that's kind of the message he was sending.
Yeah, I agree. And again, like you said, on everything that he spoke about, it's the guys that want to actually be there and the guys that want to have some sort of impact. And it stinks that some of these guys are going into their junior years, and how much longer can you be in a rebuilding program? And how long does it take? How long can some of these guys continue to stay at Auburn? But I think he does have a lot of guys behind him wanting to get to that place of, all right, this is a different team. This is a different roster, different coaching staff. We're going to actually bring Auburn back to what it once was.
Ed, I don't want to misinterpret, or anybody to misinterpret what I'm saying. There's no question. It takes top tier. Auburn's in the top 10, I think, or 15 in the blue chip ratio, Faith, right? Isn't that right? Okay. Mm-hmm. I just did a comparison yesterday of Indiana and Ohio State. 67 blue chip players on Ohio State, 7 on Indiana. I know they're an anomaly this year. I know 9 times out of 10 that isn't how it's going to play out. Maybe 9.5 times out of 10. Things just happen to be gelling and working for Indiana, and it's, like Mendoza said, we're a bunch of misfits that all ended up on the same team, and it's working out. So I totally understand the star rankings. I do this for a living. You want as many great players as you possibly can get. I think the point is Auburn has been sitting there in the top 15 in the blue chip ratio and have been getting just horrific results. And so the performance and the ROI on what you have been getting from your players has been horrendous. And you've got to get a coach and a staff in there that can get the ROI out of the players. So, yeah, I watched Coach Tuberville when I was at Auburn take Jay Ratliff and take some of these guys that were 3 stars and develop them into NFL, like not just an NFL player, a damn good NFL player. Okay? He did it multiple times. Senderick Marks. I can keep going down the list on guys. He had a very innate ability to do that with players. Every coach can't do that. So, yeah, the more top-notch clay you can get, if we're over here molding bowls in a pottery class, the more top-notch clay you can get, the better your bowl's probably going to end up being. But you, at some point in time, have got to start coaching everybody up. The 5 stars, the 4 stars, the 3 stars, you got to develop them. And, yeah, if you're not getting any top – I don't think Alex Golesh ever once said he didn't want to go out and get the best players in the country. He said, I want to own the 250-mile radius around Auburn. He said, and we'll go national for positions we got to go national for. We're going to go he said Auburn should be competing and should be getting, and he uses the word elite a lot. He doesn't say we want to be good. He says, I want to be elite at every position. That's trainer, that's nutritionist, that's assistant coaches, that's everything about the program. You want to be, if you're just settling for, hey, well, we're pretty good at that, well, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get, oh, well, maybe we get pretty good results out of that. If you strive to be elite, which you should in this conference and at this school, then that's what you should get. You should not settle for anything less.
Yeah, Tubbs said, did y'all get the impression that Will Redmond had been overpaying players and it was stopping on Golish dime? I feel like wide receiver owes his back pay. Here's the thing. The receivers got recruited and they got all the money because they do have all that talent, but they weren't being utilized because they didn't have a quarterback or a play caller or an offensive line to help any of them out that makes an offense an offense. So I do think at other schools, you're seeing receivers get paid that much.
Well, I mean, we're about to talk about one that everybody wants. And if you look at him on paper right now, yeah, you're going, oh, well, that's not worth, he's not worth, like, completely and totally wrong way to approach it. And I'm talking about Cam Coleman. We'll talk about him more when we come back here from some of our sponsors. Sensigreen.
Sensigreen for air that's cool and clean over the holidays. Make sure to call Sensigreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation for air that is warm and clean. Call Sensigreen with Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Appreciate them so very much. Been part of our program since day one, and we appreciate it so much. Scout Program Management is a full construction management firm located in Birmingham, Alabama, taking you from the pre-construction phase to the finished product. So it just doesn't start when everybody shows up. You got to do all the planning and preparation. Scout Program Management starts with you on that, and they take you all the way to the finished product. And you don't have anybody on staff, nor do you have the time to go over and meticulously watch and make sure everything's being done correctly. That's why you hire Scout Program Management. They make sure your project's done correctly, and you'll be glad you hired them. Don't just take our word for it. Go see them online, scoutpm.com.
Bunkers in downtown Auburn for the most perfect mix of sports, music, fun, food. Go to Bunkers. They've got 50 parking spaces downtown, which I don't know where you're going to find 50 parking spaces anywhere in Auburn, but they also have some really great happy hour deals, and they've got some really, really good just food that I love going there and eating at Bunkers. And we're long overdue, Brett. We need to give
We're going tomorrow. We're going tomorrow for our meeting.
We are?
Yes, that's where we're meeting. So we're meeting at Bunkers tomorrow.
I'm excited.
There you go. We won't be doing a show from there, but we'll be going and meeting and having some great food. So, yes, go check out Bunkers in downtown Auburn. And the Cart Source, Alabama's premier golf cart superstore, all the best brands. You can see them right there. Easy Go, Cushman, Yamaha, Club Car. Where are they located? In Davie, Alabama. So it's perfect place. Coming from Auburn toward Birmingham, right there on the left. They got everything you want. I mean, I rode by there yesterday. I mean, it's one golf cart after another. I don't know how they keep them on the lot. There's so many of them. And they move them quickly. It's not like they have the same golf carts out there. I talked to Harrison the other day, and he's like, look, man, all that stuff that I was showing you, they're all gone. Those things are gone. We got a whole new batch in. They will order what you need, customize it for you with the wheels, the audio system, whatever. Man, it's not too late to make somebody smile big for Christmas with one of the top golf carts that you can go find anywhere. Check them out, the Cart Source, there on Highway 280 in Davie. Thank you, Donald. Appreciate you so much. I have a lot of people telling us that now, man. And I had a lot of people tell me that yesterday and getting messages. And, man, we appreciate – I'm going to stop for a second and tell everybody. So we got a lot of people watching. We appreciate you guys so very much. A lot of you came up to Faith and I at the Super 7. We did not know you. And, again, it's very heartwarming to know that, you know, you guys enjoy our content. And it's not about me and Faith. We love doing this. We obviously do this. We started this back in February and love it and do it because of all you out there. So thank you so much for all the kind words. And I know you feel the same way, don't you, Faith?
Absolutely. Very grateful and blessed.
All right, let's talk about blue chippers that party and half a it on the university's dime. Look, Tubbs. I mean, what do we talk about? Culture change.
Yeah.
Having somebody in charge. I hear you. I get it. We're all in agreement on that. All right, so let's talk about this roster. Top priority. Who are the top? I got 6 on here. You can't list everybody. There's a lot of great players on this roster, but if you were trying to save somebody, now I will say this about from an image standpoint, perception's reality in a lot of cases, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody is trying to get Cam Coleman to get away from Auburn, and it's like, hey man, come over here, be great with us, whatever. You and I have said this a million times. Cam Coleman loves Auburn. I think he wants to stay at Auburn, and I think Auburn will pony up and do what it takes to keep him. But from a perception standpoint, I think it would be a tough mark against Alex Golesh right out of the gate if he were to lose the best player on the team.
That would be a hard hit. There's no question about it. I think, everyone is going after him, and I can't even imagine the dollar signs that are being thrown at him right now because, again, it's so much easier to say, hey, we're going to be able to actually produce with you there. You've seen the production in the past. Imagine what you could do here. Just like you said yesterday, well, we're an 11-1 team, and you're playing at a 5-7 team. Come on, come over here. It's got to be so difficult to make that decision and look at it in a sense of, okay, well, am I just getting fed the same thing that I've been fed the last 2 years that I've been here? Or is he actually going to be able to change the culture? Remember when we were talking about how some of the targets felt like they had to reach a number of Cam Coleman targets or a number of Eric Singleton targets, those kind of things? That cannot be the case next year whatsoever.
No.
Because if that's going to keep happening, and again, that's just speculation that we were having because we didn't think that there was any sort of use of them in the first half of the season.
Right.
That now were they trying to do that towards the end? I mean,
it'd be one thing if you were maximizing everybody's talent and losing. But when you lose one-score games and you didn't even touch, and some of your best players didn't even touch the ball but 2 or 3 times, you just question life. You're like, man, what in the hell are you trying to do? Again, the game plan at Texas A&M sucked so bad. And I go back to this because we have to go back to reference points. For the fact that Jeremiah Cobb touched the ball 4 times in the first half is one of the dumbest things when I look back on this season now that I could ever look that I could ever remember and think back on. And so there were times, Malcolm Simmons just went games with no touches. And you saw what he was able to do. And Justin wins are what matters. But the only way you win games is put the ball in the hands of your best players. Let them make plays. I know it didn't work out for DJ Durkin, but he said it after the Vanderbilt game, and I know you and I have said this a million times. He looked at it and said, somebody asked him, what was the difference? He said, well, not really much other than we wanted to make it a priority to get the ball in our playmakers' hands. And what did that do? It caused Auburn's offense to explode at Vanderbilt and probably should have won the game. Okay? And so, when you look at it from the standpoint of who do you want to keep? Obviously, Cam Coleman at the top. I'm putting Malcolm Simmons right behind him. They're 2 different types of receivers, but on the field, if they're utilized correctly, can be extremely dangerous. And I can even add Eric Singleton into that mix. And I appreciate all of you continuing to throw all your, who's your wish list of people to keep. Connor Lew's a good one there, Chris, because 2 years ago, LSU tried to put, didn't he say 17 teams had contacted him in the offseason to try to get him to come away from Auburn? I mean, look, when you are struggling, sharks will circle. The sharks will circle. So, my top two right now, and I know that's odd to say that you're going to go after two, but you got to keep these guys that score. You got to keep the guys, the playmakers that they can go out and actually score touchdowns for you. And Cam Coleman and Malcolm Simmons are right there at the top of that list.
Yeah, I'm with you. I say that I have no specific order of, who I want to keep, but Cam, Malcolm, Connor Lew, I know that that Xavier Adkins has already said that he's going to stay because of Durkin, but obviously he's on that list too. Deuce, of course, want to see some development and growth from him as well. I mean, again, just these guys that have been underutilized throughout this entire year.
Right. Eric Singleton in that mix. I mean, Eric Singleton's dynamic. I mean, he was obviously the most targeted of the wide receivers, but I think he's still got a lot. Deuce Knight, watch this Byron Brown situation. Byron Brown more than likely is going to end up at Auburn because he's going to follow Alex Golesh in this offense. And, he's been very productive. And I think it's a great opportunity for Auburn to go out and get a guy that has proven, that has done it, that has thrown for 3,000 yards and rushed for 1,000. He's shown it. He can do it. What does that do with Deuce Knight? Obviously, Deuce Knight is a top priority target to keep on this roster. But you know what? A bird in the hand's worth two in the bush. And if Byron Brown's coming in with this coaching staff, this change, and it's going to bring continuity quicker to everything, then I don't really have a perfect answer for the Deuce Knight situation. I don't. I think we all want to see Deuce stay at Auburn. But I don't know how that's going to work out. I just don't. And a lot's going to be dependent on this portal and how that works.
Yeah, I agree. I think once the portal opens up, that's where you're going to see a lot and get a lot of answers, and also just see how aggressive he gets in the portal, which will also back up what he's saying right now if he goes super aggressive in the portal.
And obviously Auburn's going to, and with this class being at 41, you're going to have to go get some guys in the portal. I mean, you're going to have to go out and you're going to have to go try to get some of the best that's out there to fill some of the gaps. Jeremiah Cobb should have been a 1,000-yard rusher this year. It's a travesty that he was not. Okay. He had 906 yards with two games left to play and did not get to 1,000. Of course, he should have well been over 1,000 before then. But again, that's another back. Now you got to go get some more backs with him. You got Omar Mapson and Darrell Robinson, who Darrell Robinson never got back on the field. Even though he came back and was healthy, I guess as healthy as you can coming off that leg injury, which was bizarre. We never saw him again, Faith. So I don't know. I mean, what's his status move? So that running back room is thin, man, thin as ice. And Alvin Henderson, is he going to stay? Does he stick it out? How close is he to coming in and contributing? I don't know. I kind of feel like he may test the waters and see if he can go somewhere else. So Auburn, I think, has got to go out and get another running back.
There's no question that they do.
I mean, it's just you cannot rely on Jeremiah Cobb to be the only guy. He got banged up too because he was carrying the load. I know Omar Matson's up and coming, but, man, he's still got a ways to go, in my opinion.
I agree. I think you're right. That's been a position that Auburn has been so strong in the last couple of years. And I just don't think it's been the same that it has been.
It hasn't.
And they need to go back and get it back to when you had all those guys that really had the name.
Of course, we underutilized Jacquez Hunter too the last few years. So
yeah,
we got to go get one, maybe two. of those guys to come in, and you got to go get somebody that's quality. There'll be some good ones in there. You got to make it a priority to go get one of them at least to come in. On the defensive side, I can go through a list of guys. I mean, I think I'm not – everybody's going to have opportunity to get in the portal, and people are, poaching and whatever, but Xavier Atkins needs to be your number one priority. I mean, that guy.
But he did come out and say that he's going to stay.
I get that. I'm just saying from a poaching standpoint. And he's the guy on the defensive side that, I mean, to me, is irreplaceable with the way he played. DeMarcus Riddick nursing 2 shoulder injuries, 2 of them labrum injuries. So hopefully get him back, and hopefully he can take the next step next year, because there again, there's another 5-star that Georgia, we had to get flipped from Georgia, okay? And that Alabama courted right until the very last second before signing day. I mean, so much that Nick Saban drove him to the stadium in his own car for the spring game. That's how much they wanted to mark. So, look, there's talent there. Got to get something out of these guys. And they've got to start producing, and that's what – you start winning football games and all the other stuff takes care of itself. You and I said that we were blue in the face in the offseason. We were talking about, the roster's better. The schedule's favorable. Guess what? We said all this other stuff will take care of itself if Auburn starts winning football games. They ain't done it yet. They have not done it. So it is going to take a minute to change the losing culture from 5 years, but you gotta attack it 110%. You got to attack it 110% and say, we're not having that mentality in this building anymore. We're not making excuses when things go bad. We're going to figure out how to fix it instead of coming up with reasons why bad things always happen to us, or waiting around for something bad to happen in some of these games. I think that's what we did a lot of times, Faith. It was like we'd be in really good shape in these games, and we would hit a wall and go, all right, here it comes. And then something bad would happen. And it was, there it is.
Again, it's only playing 3 quarters out of a 4-quarter game. And Auburn just has the victim mentality of, my gosh, the refs hate us. The refs always call against us, or all these different things. And it's like, lose the victim mentality.
That starts to just wear you down as much as anything else.
I know no one wants to go out and be friends with somebody that always has a victim mentality. It's exhausting to be around them.
It is.
So
it just drains you.
Yeah, it's the same thing on the football field.
Right. Had somebody just text me and say, what about the bowl invitation decline? Well, he talked about that yesterday, and would have made 0 sense for Auburn to accept half the team's gone home. Okay. They're trying to put a staff together, and they announced several guys yesterday that if we got time, we'll mention briefly. If not, we'll dive in to tomorrow or Thursday. And then who the heck, I mean, the timing of everything, you just got so many things that aren't in place right now. And you're just, when the Iron Bowl was over, you were kind of in off-season mode at that point. You didn't think you were going to get an opportunity to play in a bowl game. So it just didn't make sense for Auburn to have accepted a bowl bid. And plus, I'll go back to what I said. Go have a winning season and then go get a bowl bid the right way. Don't get a bowl invitation because 5 other schools declined in front of you and they're just coming down the list going, you're next. You want this bowl bid? No, I'll pass too. So I'll just keep going. Bowls, and I'm sorry, and I know this sucks to say, don't mean squat anymore. The playoff, the way it's designed, has destroyed the bowl system. And you can say whatever you want to say and all this, but with players opting out of bowl games and stuff now, they just don't mean anything. And college football is trying to cling on to something that's been a long time tradition for years that is literally dead. And they're just holding the skeleton over here of what used to be. And eventually that's going to have to change too, because literally it's playoff or bust. Ask Notre Dame. And I know Notre Dame's now worked out some kind of deal where they're going to if they're in the top 12, they automatically get a spot. Why the hell does everybody keep bowing down to them all the time? They just pitch a temper tantrum and go, oh, well, we got left out. Well, that ain't happening next year. Well, what are you going to do? You going to leave? You going to go start another league somewhere? I mean, why can't people just stand up to them instead of, folding like a cheap tent and going, hey, okay, we're sorry. Y'all, you just come on in next year. We'll make sure you get in the top 12 and we'll make sure you get your little spot right there. I mean, I just get so tired of that. Nobody gets that. Even Alabama don't get that.
It's true.
So now they've cemented themselves into this thing moving forward. But my point in saying all that, Faith, is we all enjoyed bowls at one point in time. And everybody's sitting around during the holidays and there's bowl games on and you watch them, but they don't mean anything anymore. Nothing.
Yeah, it's not the same. But Justin's right. It would be a good practice run for everybody, but the players, the staff,
they're just not here yet.
Yeah, the timing is just awful.
He said that if it had happened 2 weeks ago, maybe so. And you had a chance to get everybody in and kind of get solidified and kind of poll everybody and see if you want to do it. But the timing's not good. To me, more damage would be done going and half-A-ing a playing against App State, so to say, in the Birmingham Bowl, and not having everybody on the same page and learning a new offense and all that and going up there looking like crap. And everybody go, good Lord, look at this. I just don't think there was anything positive to be gained out of it. With the way spring practice starts, which will start tomorrow, it feels like. I mean, you'll blink and it'll be time for spring practice to start. I was sitting there thinking about that in the press conference yesterday, Faith. It's December halfway through. When we turn the calendar into 26, you already start talking about spring football in March. And then April will come around, and you have A-Day, and then you'll be back into the cycle of what we'll be doing going into summer. I mean, it just goes by so fast.
Yeah, it's crazy. I cannot even start thinking about that.
So you got time, is my point in bringing that up. You got time to get everything together and get ready to go after it in spring with the way things are. And so a lot to cover between now and then. That portal window opening on January 2nd, obviously for 15 days, we're going to be watching that heavily and seeing what happens. The incoming players and the outgoing players. We've already gone through a list of guys on here that will probably be getting in the portal. Nobody's in there yet because it's not open, but the ones that have pretty much come out, Horatio Fields, Amon Lane Gaines, we posted yesterday on our social, and some other guys that are still kicking it around. So, all right, some other partners here on the program before we get off. And I know we didn't get to several things that we wanted to, but man, there's just so much to talk about. And that's why we have multiple programs. And that's why we're on every morning, we're on Mondays too, but every morning. But yeah, we'll continue to carry things over that we don't talk about, that we don't get to. Oliver Ross.
For all of your holiday parties, holiday weddings, sorority, fraternity, date parties, whatever it is, call on Oliver Ross to be the bartending service for you. 20 people up to 20,000 people, which is crazy. But if you have a work convention for this holiday season and you need a bartending service, Oliver Ross is going to be the bartending services for you. They're professional licensed bartenders. So call on Oliver Ross.
Absolutely. Russell Medical Center in Alexander City, voted one of the top 3 hospitals in the state of Alabama. They are partnered with the UAB Health System, and they are the best. If you want great health care in a small town environment where you don't have to fight big city traffic, all the hassle of that, you need to check out Russell Medical Center. They got great facilities, great doctors. Again, they have everything that you need, and it's right down the road. I mean, again, a great health care provider just right down the road from where you are. So check them out. Russell Medical Center, one of the top 3 hospitals in the state of Alabama. Alex City Marine, and that right there that you see on the screen is one of those new 2026 Blackfin center console boats, and they got a full line of them over there with 300 and 400 horsepower motors. They got them with 2 motors on the back, and I'm telling you, if you think it looks good in that picture, wait till you see it in person. You'll be like, man, I got to leave the lot with this. And so more people are going to center consoles now because they're so durable, and you can use them for anything. You can go offshore, you can go in the bay, you can use them on the lakes. They can go anywhere with you. Plus the 2026 Landau and Excursion pontoon boats with Suzuki, Mercury, and Honda motors on the back. You can't beat it. Hey, talking about another great Christmas option right here. Now's the time to buy boats in the off season, in the winter. It's when you get your best deals. 256-215-3474. Can't say enough about them, man. We're so proud to have some really good partners on our program, and we got a lot more coming. Well, we have got so many people that we're talking to that want to be part of our program, which is, again, you and I are so appreciative of that. Very appreciative. We're just trying to figure out how we're going to get all the meetings in between all the stuff that we're doing. But we'll figure it out, right?
Absolutely, of course.
All right, let's see here. Pete Golden said in 2020, he said his heart beat at Auburn with no Coach Saban. Okay, whatever. Let's see. Mr. 21. I mean, Darrell Robinson, I'm assuming. Appreciate you, Blind Squirrel, very much. Very, very much. Donald, thank you so much. Hey, we will take some big NIL deals too. We're not immune to that. So, Justin, I do need one of those black fins. I'm eyeing one of those right now. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what 2026 brings. Yeah, I mean, Ed, we know why decisions are made. It's all about money and stuff like that. So, all right, Faith, anything else? Anything else?
I don't think so. I hope everyone has the best day ever.
Absolutely. Again, birthday shout out to Reese.
Yes. So everyone wish him a happy birthday.
Absolutely. And again, I think Randy and Andy will be on at lunch today. So check them out at noon on the Auburn Blitz TV show. We appreciate all of you so much. Again, like Faith said, everybody have an awesome day out there. Be nice to people. Do something good for somebody. It's the holiday season. Make that phone call to somebody. Stop in the middle of what you're doing. Pick the phone up and call somebody. You know, you never know when somebody might need to hear your voice or have a little bit of positive reinforcement out there. So go check them out. Call them. Stop. Do that for somebody. All right. All of you have a great day. We'll catch you tomorrow for more of the Auburn Blitz.